Arran, thank you for joining us. We want to just reflect a little bit on the 18 start to the season. Results have been picking up recently. How have you found it?
Yeah, obviously from my perspective, I've been kind of trying to keep an eye on a few different age groups, and on Saturdays I kind of mix my time between the 16s and 18s. But we obviously discuss things all the time. We review the games, we look at the footage back, and it's been a challenging start to the season. We've had a host of injuries that's been difficult to manage, and it's meant that there's been opportunities for a lot of the younger players. A lot of the 16s have had game time with the under-18s, which is a really good challenge, and also a good opportunity for the older players to show some leadership and some support of the younger players. And there's been some good performances, and I think at times we've dominated the ball, which is something that we're looking to do. We've been a little bit too open on transition at times, and we've been a little bit we haven't defended set pieces as well as we could, and so the first half of the season has been, in terms of scores and results of the game, it's not been quite as we'd hoped, but the performances have actually been better than that might suggest. So yeah, but like I say, the last few weeks had a really good win at the weekend against Portsmouth, which the boys will be really pleased about. There was a win in the FA Youth Cup, so we've got another game coming up in that competition. And so yeah, the results are picking up. The performances have been pretty good throughout, and we're starting to get a few of the older players back from injury, which is great for their development, because it's opportunities to try and work towards professional contracts. So,
in terms of the players coming back, obviously Santino and I think Kai Cooper played at the weekend against Portsmouth, but is it something you plan for and expect for these injuries? Because obviously the lads are still growing, and it is something that can happen.
Well, I think there's always a degree of injuries, and I think we've been talking about, I think around, most clubs look at around 22 and 25% of an under-18s group to be out at any one time. So it's not uncommon for there to be a number of injuries within the group. But I think we've been probably a little bit more than that. We've had a few unfortunate ones that are slightly different to normal. So it has been challenging, but again, that's a good opportunity for those players to experience a difficult part of the game where you are injured, you can't be on the pitch. How can you look after yourself, work as hard as you can, rehab to develop, and make sure when you are back able to play, you're ready. And also look at making sure their education is as far forward as it can be. Look at watching clips back of themselves and other players, so looking at the the off-pitch bits of analysis and things like that. So we try and make sure the boys maximise that time when they're not on the pitch, but obviously it's a frustrating time. But yeah, that's part of the game. So hopefully they can all come back and bounce back and show what good players they are in the coming months.
So as we know, Nicky has moved on from his role with the 18s to a club at the top level, and we wish him all the best. But does that just show how the academy not only creates good players but also great coaches as well?
I'd certainly think so. I think if you look at the under-18 coaches that we've had over the last 10 years, you know, I think we've had Kwame go to Arsenal, we had Lee Scum go to England with the under-17s, we had Kevin Nicholson go to Cardiff 21s, we've had Dan Green go to the first team, we've had Kevin Nicholson go to the first team. Chad as well, that's moved on to Doncaster, Hull City, and now with Man City. And I'm sure there's others that I haven't even thought about there. But Nicky's the latest in that list of really good people and really good coaches. And a club like Exeter, we want to find ambitious, good quality coaches that we can help develop and give an opportunity to show what they can do. And because they're good and they're ambitious, they get noticed by clubs at higher levels, or even the first team staff, and that's great because it is an opportunity club, it's a development club. So for us, that's as big a success as anything. And Nicky did a fantastic job for us, and he will be missed. But I'm really pleased for him that he's got an opportunity that I think he can, you know, take his career to the next level, and excited to see where that goes.
Also, Nicky going into the academy initially, it shows the link between the club and the academy with a first team player essentially coming into your group.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's so important. And I think we meet weekly with the first team officially, and we will chat to them every day. But making sure that's alignment and that's that one club feel is really important. And yeah, you know, the best coaches aren't always ex-players. You know, if you've had a career at the highest level and you've got a real passion for coaching and you want to be really good at the that role, then it gives you a bit of a kind of a step up. But we've had some fantastic coaches that haven't been professional players as well. So I think the next one's going to be really important, that we continue to find really good people that have got the players' best interests at heart, that like I say, I think obsessed with the game. You know, you got to be watching football, knowing the modern trends, knowing how we can support players, be able to work with different types of players because we've got a lot of different characters. Yeah, it's going to be a challenge to find a coach that's as enthusiastic and as skillful as Nicky, but that's been a challenge over the last 10-15 years every time we've had a really good member of staff leave, and it's not just in the under-18s role as well. So, but yeah, we're excited about where we go next, and looking at applications and see who comes, shows an interest in the role, and we'll endeavour to make sure that it's somebody that's going to help continue to support players to play in the first team and beyond. So yeah, it's a huge role, and we're excited to see where it goes.
So in the meantime, who's currently out there leading the 18s in training and on match days?
So at the moment, it's the good thing about the academy and the club is we are a family club, and we kind of work together very collaboratively as a team. So at the moment, it's a mixture of people that are working with the players, and all people that the players already know. So between myself, Ian Parks, head of coaching, Andy Struthers, who was already working with the under-18s, Chris McPhee, who was already working with the under-18s. Those two were kind of almost sharing a role in terms of the days they work. And some of the other younger age group lead phase coaches or lead cell coaches are working as well. So there's a whole host of us. We've also got some support from the first team. So Dave Perkins is very kindly offered his help and is out with the boys, which is great again to allow the boys to put themselves in the eye of the first team. So yeah, and with Dan Green around in the 21s, there's always a bit of a mix between those age groups as well and the first team. So we're in a decent position. We're not going to rush finding the right candidate. It's got to be the right person. And in the meantime, the players are being looked after, and we're all making sure that they don't notice that there's a change there, if that makes sense. It's using it as an opportunity to say, okay, slightly different, bit of adversity because there's someone that they've grown very close to, but how are you going to respond to that? And with obviously the group of staff that we've got, making sure they're going to get all of the training and support that they need.
So before that, obviously, it's a busy November coming up for the 18s, and another opportunity, like you touched on, to play at St James Park against Dunstable in the FA Youth Cup, which is another opportunity for supporters to come down and support the next generation.
Definitely, and I think in this month we've got there's two 21s games, Bristol City and Norwich away, and then there's the FA Youth Cup games, also some big cup games, and I would imagine there's going to be under-18 players involved in all of those 3 games. So yeah, again, opportunities and experiences to play under the lights, in the stadiums, in front of crowds, a little bit of added pressure, and seeing how the boys kind of can cope with that, but hoping that they can still play the way that we want them to play, show the things as individuals that we want them to show, and then collectively as units and within a team be able to put on performances that can win those games and progress in those competitions.